Okay, now we see people count. Okay, just post messages in your WhatsApp group if you have one. The session is started. Okay, okay, okay. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and good day to one and all. Today we do the fourth episode of season 7. My name is Ashfaq Ahmed. I am the anchor of PMI Chapter Exchange. I am also the Vice President of PMI Mumbai Chapter. This year we plan to do 11 to 12 events, and we are currently on the fourth event of the year. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the current volunteers of the Chapter Exchange program. So, can I have a quick hi from our volunteers who are online today? Tao, you want to quickly say hi to the audience?
Hello, everyone. Guys, welcome. And today's very important topic: ROI, NPV, and everything you need to know. So, hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you, Tao. Thank you, Tao, for all the support. Priscilla, you want to say hi to the audience?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm speaking from Brazil. It's morning here, 11 a.m. So welcome and enjoy the session.
Thank you, Priscilla. We have Amod. You want to quickly say hi? Followed by Rangaraj. Amod from PMI
Yeah.
Mumbai chapter.
Hello. Hello, everyone. This is Amod from PMI Mumbai chapter.
Thank you, Amod. And Rangaraj. Rangaraj is our background person. He's the one who prepares the slides and also the nugget documents. So he helps me on all the background activities. Rangaraj, you want to quickly say hi? Okay. So on the screen, I show you the the event that we are planning. We have already planned for this year. We have already, as I said, we already did 4 events, and fifth one is planned for 15th of May. I'll be sharing the link at the end of this event so that you can have a quick link to register quickly, and uh, and the rest of the events are planned. So as we progress, I'll keep you updated on what are the upcoming events. So as we try to do better on uh, various arena, here are a list of. Priscilla, you want to talk about the exchange effect?
Sure. Thank you, Ahmed. So welcome
Thank you.
again to PMI Chapter Exchange, Season 7, Event 4. Today, we will explore the economics of project decisions, ROI, NPV, and business case development. Super important topic. We are delighted to have PMI friends joining us from 35 chapters across the globe, spanning North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, and Asia, along with many more supporting chapters worldwide. At the end of today's session, we will share the registration link for our May event. So stay with us to get early access. Now let me introduce you the exchange effect map, which shows how our registrations are distributed today across more than 40 countries. Next one, please. And before we begin, please take a moment to say hello in the chat and start connecting with other fellow attendees. You can also update your profile in our Meet with your LinkedIn details and network with fellow attendees. Today, we are excited to share that we have more than 300 registrations from across the globe, representing over 30 countries. From Alaska to New Zealand and everywhere in between, thank you all for this incredible response and for being part of this initiative. Please note that this session is being recorded. So if you feel uncomfortable in any way, you may choose to leave at this time. Otherwise, we are happy to have you with us. Also, all participants are speaking in their individual capacity, so the views shared today do not represent the official positions of our respective organizations. And here's something special. You can also be spotlighted. How? By actively participating in this event. Share a quote related to today's topic or your key takeaway from session in the chat. Our team will select one quote and its author will be spotlighted at the end of this session and be featured in our Insight Exchange Nugget. So get ready, join the conversation, and share your thoughts in the chat. Thank you.
A point to note here, we have a QR code. So if you can scan the QR code, it will open up a Google form. This will help us capture the codes in one common place. So, and we are also sharing this code, uh, the link for the QR or the Google form in the chat, so that in case you miss it, you can post your code here. Thank you, Priscilla.
Thank
Um,
you, Ahmed.
yeah. Uh, we are looking at the one theme, one song, and one dance. Just a snapshot of our program. Chapter Exchange is a PMI chapter collaborative activity. We have 39 participating chapter and more supporting chapter on this program representing all region that PMI is in today. We are also in discussion with other chapters whom we will onboard soon. PMI Chapter Exchange is a virtual community of chapter leaders, a community that transcends across continents, countries, and culture, and we like to put it that way. Our vision is to evangelize cross chapter collaboration and encourage cultural diversity. It's all about teamwork, co-creating monthly event to bring diverse perspective to our chapter members, spurring networking and collaboration opportunities. And by doing this, we bring a community to share good practices within and external to the program. That is why you will notice chapters from diverse background participating in this program, because we truly believe diverse connection leads to innovative solutions. And a quick introduction of our keynote speaker today, Gustav Gustav from Jalisco,
Yes,
Mexico
yes.
chapter. Yeah, he's a seasoned IT leader with over 38 years of experience. Currently serving as a founder and general director of a project execution firm specialized in high-stake consultancy for major Mexican organizations, and possesses deep expertise in sales, consulting, and IT project delivery across public, oil and gas, and private sectors. He has held global leadership roles at SAP, managing international portfolios and World Bank funded projects across 30 plus countries. Played a key advisory role at Pemex, leading global IT strategy and major SAP implementation. Also drove strategic innovation initiatives for Mexican presidency. Holds a degree in engineering with a specialization in computer science. Thank you, Gustav, for
Thank you.
for the event today, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you, all of you. Good morning, Mumbai. So good evening, Mumbai. Good morning, Mexico. Good afternoon, Nigeria, Mariam. So I want to thank all chapters and mostly Jalisco to invite to this invitation. I'm so happy to be here and share with you some thoughts and experiences that you may find worth to your role as a project manager. And I want to start with a confession that may sound strange coming from a project manager. The triple constraint of the project manager triangle is not enough. Why I say that? For years, we have been obsessed with the how, on time, on budget, in scope, but we have forgotten the why. As a consultant and a project leader, I have seen organizations deliver successful projects that resulted in zero impact on the bottom line. They were efficient, but they were irrelevant. In the next 10 minutes, we are going to stop talking about managing tasks and start talking about managing capital. and also managing value. So we are going to look at how transform project managers into strategic investment partner using three tools: the business case, the return on investment, and the net present value. The business case is your strategic North Star. The business case is not a bureaucratic obstacle. It is a contract between the project team and the organization strategy. We will talk in detail further, but now I would like to say that a high performance business case must answer three questions. Why this? The strategic alignment. Why now? The opportunity cost. What if? The risk-adjusted value. Too often, we trade the business case as a set and forget document. But as a project manager expert, I can tell you that I argue that if some of your economic assumptions change my project, if the market shifts or a competitor moves faster, you must have the courage to revisit your business case. If the net present value turns negative because of delay, the most professional thing a project manager can do is recommend the project be terminated. That is the difference between a task driver and a business leader. May I have the other slide, please, Sasha? Now let's talk about the math of success, ROI versus net present value. You know the formulas. Yeah, exactly. But now let's talk about the numbers. We often hear stakeholders shoot for ROI. Is the favorite metric for the C-suite because it's simple. ROI is the net profit divided by cost. But does it tell us that? It tells us efficiency. If I spend $1 to get 2 back, that's 100% ROI. Great. But ROI has a massive blind spot. It doesn't care about time. This is where, as a strategic leader, you must introduce the net present value. Net present value is the gold standard because it accounts for the time value of money. It recognizes that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. When you calculate net present value, you are discounting future cash flows and see what they are worth in today's money. If you are choosing between project A and project B, a project A has a higher return on investment. Let's think about it. But the project B has a higher net present value. You choose project B. Why? Because net present value tells us how much value actual wealth you are adding to the company's balance sheet. It is the absolute measure of value. That's what the number says. But now let's talk about the next slide, please. What is beyond the spreadsheet? Because when we are talking about money, it's clear. You can see many cases and many things, but I want to share something to you. Now, if we only look at the math, we are only seeing half of the picture. Any seasoned consultant will tell you not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. In a robust business case, we must account non-economic benefits. These are the intangibles that often provide the competitive edge that a net present value calculation simply cannot capture. Think about brand equity and reputation. How do you put a price tag on the trust of your comments customers. If a project improves data privacy, the ROI, the return on investment, is not just a money saved, it's a disaster avoided. If we look at regulatory compliance, sometimes the ROI is simply the right to continue operating in a specific market. Let's think about employee engagement and retention, for example. In the current talent war, a project that modernizes a frustrating legacy system has a massive hidden ROI. It reduces turnover and prevents the brain drain that costs company millions in recruitment. As a project leader, your job is to quantify the qualitative. You don't just say, it will make people happy. You say, this align with your strategic pillar of innovation, which is projected to increase or market, let's say, 20% over 3 years. You take those soft benefits and align them to the company's strategy goals. When the net present value is marginal, these non-economic factors tip the scale toward approval. To close, I want to give you a new title. You are no longer a just project manager. From today, you are a guardian of value. Your job is not to move a ticket from in progress to done. Your job is to ensure that every hour of your team's time and every dollar of your company's budget is being converted into a highest possible return. Use business case to guide you. Use ROI to measure efficiency. Use net present value to ensure you are building a future that is worth the investment. And never forget the importance of non-economic benefits. The economics of project decision are not just about balancing books. They are about building a legacy. Thank you, Ashrat.
Thank you, Gustav. Thank you so much. I think you set up the context correctly for our panel discussion going forward. Moving on to the next part of our segment is the spotlight chapter. And today we have president of Greece chapter presenting to us the Greece chapter. And Anciles Lazaro, can I request you to take the stage, please?
Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
just
your
a minute.
invitation today.
Just
Can you
a
hear me?
minute, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Hello.
I think,
Hello,
can you
everybody.
quickly introduce yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm going ahead. So thank you, everybody, for this invitation today. We are so happy to be part of this initiative. Actually, PMI Greece chapter was one of the first chapters to join this initiative. And myself, I'm currently the president of PMI Greece chapter. I have been involved in the chapter the last 10 years. And my current position is the president. I'm global head of business development of Supply Unique. We're doing projects and we deliver business in more than 15 countries. And I work in more than 7 advisory boards, boards as an advisory member. So my experience is quite diverse. I studied physics. My first master is on the field of physics and condensed matter, and then I moved forward with project management and then to finance, and my PhD is on the innovation part. And more than happy to share some things about PMI Greece chapter and the journey that we have followed the past years. And I was quite part of this year, and this was a beautiful journey. And we have been growing continuously from 500 members right now to almost, as we speak today, 2,000 members. And at this moment, to our fellows from the different chapters, I want to highlight that the new membership model was quite a boost for our chapter, and it really helped. So I'm most of us will be in the next meetings of the PMI, either on LIMS or global. So you will have the chance to discuss about it. We will get our people involved as much as possible. Gustavo, that was a beautiful presentation, and I want also to highlight the importance of value, bringing value in the community. So it's not about working as a volunteer; it's about getting people inspired in this community. So we have more than 3 times up people working close to the board and getting nominees for the board. So they were actually looking to get involved. We're delivering around 40 events per year, and we give all the kind of PDUs that our professionals trying to get. And we were recognized with from acknowledged from the PMI team for the 4 out of 5 PMI values. Can we move to the next slide, please? So what I want to highlight at this moment and share with you and our beautiful community is that the past 2 years we have really focusing on the Students Club. So we create our own independent students club, PMI Greece Chapter Students Club, and it was really supported by the PMI Educational Foundation. At this moment, we reached more than 2,000 school students, and we're gonna have more than 3,000 by the end of 2026. And then we get all the ministries and then all the governmental authorities involved, and they were really excited about this initiative. And everybody right now consider project management as a modern skill. Along with that, we get all these kind of professional big companies next to our community, like PwC, and we just signed Deloitte. And we're really getting, we're getting this kind of beautiful workshops with our professional educational team. And right now, we introduced the mentorship initiative. We have right now active 37 mentorship pairs, and I highly recommend it to your chapters to follow the same. It's really a value delivery initiative. And right now, I'm proud to serve as president and have this great initiative of Students Club. We're presenting the LIM in Lisbon in 2 weeks' time. And everybody needs to know that our great power is people coming inside, inspiring the next generation to follow our practices. We have all of our ATPs aligned in our community under MOU assigned, so everybody's structured. We're always trying to localize global strategy of PMI to our country. And that helped us, to achieve some significant things. So right now, around 2,000 members, 4 times up. We have 78% retention rate. And then now our annual chapter event was sold out this first, it's the first year to be sold out. We had more than 200 people live and some virtual people. And we started to make events not only in the capital city. 2025 was the first time to make a huge event also in the north part of Greece. And of course, our power is our volunteers, and we're trying to engage as much people as possible by delivering value to our community. So we have right now 45 really active volunteers across 6 different structured teams. And our board is really influenced by young people with diverse ideas. And always we're trying to localize and be part of the main strategy, global strategy of PMI, following first of all the values and delivering value to our community. So last but not least, I would like to highlight that PMI community is not a community just for professionals. It's a community about people sharing same passion, sharing same values for professionalism and volunteering. And it's a community that people grow and grow in a way that can feel comfortable and can feel valued. So for us, the past 5 years was a journey of really excitement and journey of learning so many things. And thank you for being part of this great initiative of Chapter Exchange. And guys, our community is not local. Our community is really global. And these kind of initiatives make our people understand that we belong to something bigger. And this is a good event to understand this. So if I had to highlight, I can tell you that PMI Greece Chapter is focusing right now on the young generation and on the Students Club. And we're trying to be valid PMI Global Ambassadors and trying to be sure that the values we are following are the values that PMI has set for the whole community. Thank you so much for the time and for giving the chance to spotlight PMI Greece Chapter.
Thank you, Asiliya. Thank you so much for bringing the PMI Greece chapter to us. It was really a good presentation, and really appreciate you discussing all this point. I'm sure all the other chapters within that region would also be inspired and motivated to do or get some additional ideas from what the PMI Greece chapter is doing. Moving on to our next segment, which is the panel discussion. So we have our panelist, Mashur from Bangladesh. So Mashur, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello, everyone. This is Mohammad Moshur Rahman. I am currently working as a senior project manager at Ben Station 23, which is one of the largest software development firm in Bangladesh. In addition, I am serving as a director of administration at the PMI Bangladesh chapter. I have over 20 years of experience in IT and around 10 years in project management, basically. And my background is in from computer science and engineering. I also done another masters from applied statistics and data science. I am definitely a PMP certified professional, and I am involved with delivering several projects, local and international projects. I work for UNDP, Danida, and the local many other companies. Currently, I'm looking after the CRM transformation project of Grameen Phone, which is one of the largest telco in Bangladesh. And I'm looking forward to sharing some practical insights from my experience today. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mashur. Thank you so much. Next, we move on to Mariam from the Nigeria chapter. Mariam, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Miriam Chukwemeka. Greetings from PMI Nigeria chapter. I have over 15 years experience in project management as well as information technology research. Supported a couple of agencies. I've consulted for the UNDP, UNICEF, African Development Bank, and a couple of others. I'm a member, like the other panelists said, I'm a member of PMI Nigeria, also a fellow of Nigerian Computer Society, certified in information system auditing. I'm happy to be here, and I hope we all enjoy the session.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you so much. Let's start with let me just stop presenting and let's start with the panel discussion. Thank you. Gustav, you there? Yeah, good. So I have a first question, and the first question is for Mushair. Sir, how do organizations balance financial metrics like ROI or ROI and NPV, net value, with strategic and non-financial benefit when selecting projects? You want to quickly touch upon this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, this question was for me. Asmet?
Yeah, you can also answer. Mushair, you want to go first?
It's for me? Okay.
It's for you, Mashur. Yeah, it's for you. Yeah, for you, Mashur.
Once he's done, then I'll come to you, Gustav.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's for me. This question is for me, Mashur.
Yeah.
It's just for you.
Okay. From what I've seen in practice, if organization don't really balance ROI and NPV against strategy, they layer them basically. What we do actually, we usually start with financials as a hygiene check. If a project doesn't make basic economic sense, it's hard to justify moving forward. So ROI and NPV help us to shortlist the project basically. But well, that's where the real discussion begins, not ends basically. Does that actually move the needle of our strategy? I have seen many projects, strong ROI, but get dropped because of they don't support any priority. While others with moderate financials were approved because they were critical for strategically critical and also for customer experience or digital capability. So then comes the non-financial side, which is often where the real value side sits. Things like improving customer trust, enabling future products, regulatory readiness, and building internal capability. These don't always show up clear ROI. So, in practically, we make them explicit. Uh, what we do actually, we try to mix up all the things, ROI, NPV, and other things in a simple multi-criteria view. We create a matrix uh, to calculate uh, to calculate and make the decision basically. So we don't evaluate projects in isolation. We look at the portfolio basically. Some projects are there for immediate returns, others are there build future capability. The balance happens at the portfolio level, not necessarily at each individual project. So my suggestion is ROI and NPV tell us if a project is attractive, but strategy and non-financial benefits tell us if it is the right bet for us. Thank you.
I was on mute. Sorry. Thank you, Musha. Gustav, you want to add something to this?
No, it's okay. Good, good. No,
Good?
nothing. Very clear,
Good.
Mr. That's
Very good.
excellent.
Very
Thank
good.
That's very, very
Thank
clear.
you.
Very-
Thank you. So I have the next question. Maybe I'll come back to Mushair again. The next question is for Gustav. What does what role does risk analysis play in strengthening a project business case? You mentioned about business case in your keynote speech. So can you help us understand what role does risk analysis play in strengthening a project business case?
Yes, yes, with my pleasure. I think the business case is, I would say, is the decision-ready business case. We have to consider things like this, for instance. And give me 1 second. It's first of all, is risk analysis is not a pessimist exercise. You are talking about basically the risk analysis. Give me 1 second. I have problems with my picture. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'm back. When we talk about risk analysis and business case, we must stop treating as a checkbox exercise, like as a PMO. It is in fact the foundation layer in financial realism. That I would say that a business case without a risk analysis or risk assessment is like a happy path document. It assumes that every resource is available, every vendor delivers on time, and the market never shifts. And in the real world, the project doesn't, I mean, that project doesn't exist. I have never seen some of this. Yeah. By integrating a risk analysis, we can move from the deterministic forecasting, giving one fixed number, to a probabilistic forecasting. Let me just have an example. We used to expect a monetary value or EMBs to bridge the gap. For example, if there is a 30% probability of 200,000 supply chain disruption, the risk adjustment cost in your business case is 600,000. When you add those NEMBs or expected monetary value, you create a contingency reserve that is not a guess. It's a data-driven, an insurance policy. Ultimately, this strengthens the case because it builds executive confidence. Uh, when a sponsor sees that you have already identified the top 5 threats to the ROI and have budget for their mitigation, you are not just asking for money. You are providing that you have the maturity to protect the organization capitals against the unknown. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you, Gustav. Mushair, you want to add anything to that risk analysis question? If you want, I can repeat that question. What role does risk analysis play in strengthening a project business case? Okay. Okay. Gustav, there is a question from Gustav. There is a question from the audience. We will just take it. How do you build a strong business case for sponsor community approval or sponsor committee approvals when ROI and PNV are weaker than expected? How do you build a strong business case for sponsor committee approval when ROI and NPV are weaker than expected, but the biggest value comes from strategic or non-tangential benefit?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of examples like this. That's a good question. That's why I made emphasis at the beginning for the non-economic benefits. It's very interesting when you create a very strong business case. You have to talk about or you have to use the language of the C levels, and because they really like to understand what is the problem you are solving, what is the offering you are giving, and with all this, okay, what is the cost of this? No? Because sometimes it's not the return on investment, but really makes sense for the project in the company. Yeah. I have seen also projects that they don't even have uh, profitability, for instance, with our customers, but they want to win market position. Yeah. And this is what the kind of things they really like. So my recommendation on this is um, start talking about this solution you are providing, this problem you are solving, and then propose this, because numbers are not most of the times are important, of course, but for decision I have seen that, and I will show you at the end of this at the end of my last question, I will show you an example how to represent this portfolio in a way like in a bubble graph that can show what are the projects that you can really go for it. Yeah, but that is basically the way that you can strengthen your business case.
Okay. On the non-tangential side, I have a question from Aryan. How can organization effectively quantify intangible benefits such as customer satisfaction or brand value? Mariam, you want to quickly touch upon that?
Yes, I want. Okay, so thank you. I'm just going to go on a rider to what Ahmed has just mentioned. Because I come from the health sector, a couple of organizations actually ignore the intangible because they are not measurable. Most organizations or most institutions, like would say, actually want something they can measure. Something like customer satisfaction, you can measure it. You can have, you have to use things like customer complaints, retention, and that's why you have a lot of websites, asking for feedback, asking for reviews, because it's on this, you can't calculate return on investment on this intangible, but they are measurable in terms of your feedback. Now, I'm going to explain, like coming from the health sector, we basically provide health insurance for all Nigerians. And on enrollment platform, the management has invested quite a lot of money in it. We may not see the immediate ROI on it, but are customers happy? Yes. Are they satisfied? Yes. Do they have access to healthcare, which is one of our core mandates and is intangible? Yes. So, those are the things we call intangible, but they are very important. Then again, the real value comes from soft metrics. Higher customer satisfaction in health insurance translate into a more stable revenue. So over the long term, maybe in 10, 20 years, we'll begin to see the ROI. So at the moment, value. Then we can also use the before and after comparison. Before this enrollment platform was introduced, what was the customer feedback? Were customers happy? Were they not happy? So those are the intangible things that a lot of people in management, including us as project managers, fail to understand, that things like customer satisfaction, retention, with structured judgments. The data you have, what have you used it for? We say data is the new oil, and not everything is perfectly quantified, but we can use data to quantify all this retention, customer service, and customer retention. And I'll close with this. You don't need perfect numbers for intangible things. You really need the real outcome, which supports better decision, again, for management. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mariam. Thank you so much. Mushair, you want to add something to that intangible question?
No, thank you.
No, you're good? Okay. So I have a question for you, Mushair. What are the common limitations of ROI, and how can leaders avoid misinterpreting it in decision making?
Okay, this is an interesting question basically.
Mm.
ROI is one of the most used metrics, but
Yeah.
but also one of the most misinterpreted. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
From what I've seen, the biggest limitation is that ROI looks precise, but it hides a lot of assumptions. Two projects
Okay.
can show the same ROI, but one might be far riskier or take much longer to realize value.
Mm.
And ROI doesn't tell you that. Another issue is that uh, it ignores timing.
Mm.
I have seen teams compare projects with similar ROI without realizing one delivers value in 6 months and another is in 3 years. That's very different business impact.
Correct.
There's also a short time bias. ROI
Mm.
tends to favor quick wins. So strategic initiatives like platform building or capability development often look weaker on paper, even though they are critical for the future.
Correct.
And finally, I want to say another thing. It misses the intangible value. Customer
Mm.
experience improvements, regulatory compliance, brand trust, that these are rarely show up properly in ROI, but they matter in a lot in real decisions. So how leaders avoid misinterpreting EDE? In practice, it's more about how you use ROI than the metric itself. First, treat ROI as a strategic starting point, not the decision tool. It's a filter, not a verdict, basically. Secondly, you can always challenge the assumptions behind it. I often ask what needs to go right for this ROI to happen. Third, put it next to other views like NPV, risk analytics, and strategic alignment. So you see the full picture. And importantly, look at timing and certainty of returns, not just the percentage. In reality, what happened? ROI tells you how good a project looks on paper. But leadership is about understanding how reliable and relevant that number really is. So that's all from my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. I think you touched upon the skeleton of ROI. You actually studied it a little more, so that we all could understand ROI correctly. So that's good. Thank you. The next question is for Gustav. Gustav, on similar lines for the business case, what are the key components of compelling and decision-ready business cases? What are the key components of a compelling and decision-ready business cases? You are on mute.
Okay, here I am. I'm back. Yeah, thank you. Yes. This is, I mean, I could say the decision-ready business case needs, in my experience, like 4 pillars. No, one is the strategic context. Is because a decision-ready case doesn't just describe a project, because at the end of the day, it justifies its existence. Let's say its existence relative to the organization's survival and growth. Yeah. Things like a market dynamic, strategic pillars, the narrative, things that you have to include in this strategic context. This is the first pillar. The second one that I have seen is the economic analysis. We already mentioned that in an excellent way. Mashour explained with the ROI, but this economic analysis, the net present value, return on investment, and payback it's necessary, because we have, at the end of the day, we have to talk about money. Yes, but the other one is that is very important component is the risk profile. Yeah. The risk profile is what could stop and how we can avoid that kind of things. No, in this, for instance, this sensitivity analysis is very important. How we are going to mitigate costs, and this, as I mentioned in the previous question, the expected monetary value, and some of the assumptions. I would say, I used to say quite often that our risk analysis is good for health because it helps us at the very beginning to be a little bit paranoid. No? Yeah? But it's like the to use and when you are cooking, just a little bit, not a lot, because if not, you can not prepare the correct cook and things like this. But this is very important. The risk profile it's the thing. And the fourth one, last but not least, is the implementation strategy. Also, this is because we have to say and to put in black and white the resource capacity, the governance milestones, the benefits of the realization, as I mentioned. That's very important. And I mean, summary, basically, as I said, is the strategic context, the economic analysis, the risk profile, and the implementation strategy. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Gustav. Thank you for the 4 pillars. The next question I have is for Mariam. How do cognitive bias influence investment decisions despite strong financial indicators? How do cognitive bias influence investment decisions despite strong financial indicators?
Okay, thank you for that question. So I'm going to be highlighting the response on 5 biases, cognitive biases, which includes groupthink. Now, groupthink, it's basically maybe the shareholders or the stakeholders in this maybe a project, even if some of them have private concerns, but they think, when they're discussing around the project, they just okay it. Those are one of the biases that can influence, investment. Then another thing that we can consider is overconfidence bias. Now, what do I mean by that? Those that make the decision, that the decision makers overestimate their judgment, they have high expectation of something. Now, I'll give you an illustration of maybe a team or a project manager decides to say, okay, this ICT platform is working in Ghana. It must definitely work in Nigeria. Yes, we're in West Africa, but we have different terrain. So you can roll out this ICT platform, even with a weak user adoption, they believe it will work because it works somewhere. So these are the biases, that can affect project. Another thing is confirmation bias. People look for data that would support whatever you say. Like I gave this illustration, we have health insurance in Ghana. We also have in Nigeria. So you pull out data and say, okay, this data was what Ghana started up with, and basically maybe integration of medical records, electronic medical records with health maintenance organizations. But because of we don't have that data, this is an assumption in Nigeria. You feel, oh, because he worked here, it must definitely work here. So those are one of the cognitive biases that actually affect investment. Another thing is loss aversion, the fear of losing because of poor choices. You've invested so much. You can't admit that this project is failing. There's already so much investment in terms of budget. There's already so much time invested as it relates to team members. The stakeholders already agitated because there are no results. Those things can one of the biases. How do we manage these biases? There are a couple of ways we can manage it, by encouraging structured challenge. What do I mean by that? Create space, create an environment, create a room where people can have independent reviews, and that's why we even have the independent auditors to see or to profile or to check financial statements. So in a department or in an institution, you might have the auditors, you might have the financial team, but yet you bring an independent view who sees things outside the box or even without the box. Again, we can use data. We can back up most of our decision using validated data and not assumptions. We make less assumption if we really want these projects to be very successful. Then again, what else can we use to manage these biases? We can separate decision stages. Let's not make, like, if I decide, oh, we need this project in Department of ICT, I shouldn't be the one supporting the project. So I can propose a project, but not being the one approving it. So that brings us as a project manager where delegation happens. I bring it, different people have approvals, or I suggest the project, but I'm not the one approving. So that helps separate decision stages. And finally, we can promote a learning culture because Gustav have said this, it mustn't be, what happens. Let's learn with each other, just like, PMI is also trying to do through this PMI exchange. It's an opportunity where everybody can learn. So in order to break these biases, make everybody acceptable, to stop and adjust projects without blame. I will close with this, that even the strongest financial indicators can be undermined by human judgment. So the goal is not just better data, but we can use better decision discipline around the data. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Gustav or Mushair, you want to add anything to this biases, cognitive biases, which influences in your areas or in your region? Is there a different answer to this, or you still have these kind of biases?
Yeah, I think it was very great explanation from Mariam. That's nothing to add. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Another question for the team is how can organizations ensure alignment between project selection decisions and long-term business strategy? How can organization ensure alignment between project selection decisions and long-term business strategy? When you say long-term business strategy, I'm sure ROI is not the answer. So what exactly is? Because we heard that ROI is has got a blind spot and it's not related to time. So long-term strategy. So who, Mushair, you want to take that question?
Yeah. And also, could you please, Ashmet, be so kind to share the slide, the last slide that I it was with a
Your slide? I
graph.
can do that. Yeah.
There
I can.
this is something that I would like. This is probably with the things that I would like to
Okay.
close. And I would like to start saying that this. I love this question. This is how I think that is things that I have been facing quite often in my work and different exercises with strategic analysis and how creating this portfolio. But this strategic alignment is the filter on the top of the funnel. This is what we really have. When this, you really ensure the alignment by creating a portfolio roadmap. You know, every project must be able to trace a direct line to one of the organization key performance indicators. No, just to wrap up this is and in my I think contribution to this is I would like to share this exactly. This is a tool that it's a model that I have used quite often. And let me explain this. The X axis represent the project strategic contribution, how much it actually moves moves the needle to our most critical company objectives. That is basically how we are contributing to the strategy. The y-axis shows the execution feasibility, or let's say maturity. Essentially, this is the risk profile where the top represent low risk, high certainty projects. And the bubble size reflects the project magnitude, factoring in total cost, durations, and number of stakeholders involved. The color categorize the project type, whether it's internal, a claim-facing product, or a technical research and development pivot, for instance. Once we plot or norm our projects in this map, the strategy becomes crystal clear throughout the 4 quadrants. Let me explain why. The bottom left, these projects in this quadrant, you have to redefine or reassess this project. These are the high-risk projects with low strategic contribution. They should not be in the portfolio. They need to be completely redefined or scrapped. The top left, it's a quadrant that can tell us that we have to reformulate this project because these have a low risk but low contribution. They are safe, but let's say uninspiring. We look to reformulate those to see if we can leverage this stability to drive more value. The bottom right, that's this strengthening and mature. These are the high impact, the high risk. This is where your best project manager live. This project requires aggressive mitigation. This is this aggressive mitigation strategies to protect their high strategic value. And the top right, the magic quadrant, those are the no-brains. They offer high strategic contribution with low execution risk. Those are the projects we execute immediately. I mean, by using this visualization, we stop arguing over budget and start deciding on value. This is how you, as a project manager, I propose to evolve from a task driver to a guardian of value or a true strategic ally to the business. Thank you. That, that's what I want to share. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll stop sharing. That was a good insight
Yeah.
into how your project contribution and execution are related. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next question. I would want all our panelists to have this question in mind. Maybe we'll close with this question. I want to ask for each of you on how you are in your scope of work utilizing AI, artificial intelligence, to make your work effective, or is AI actually helping you? So we'll come to that question. I want all of you to gather a little thoughts on that. So moving on to the next question. Uh, this is for Mushair. Mushair, in agile or iterative environment, how does ROI and NPV be adapted for evolving project scope?
Okay, so now everything is aside. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, the biggest shift ROI and NPV are no longer one-time calculation, basically, in the agile environment. Uh, Normally, what we do, we calculate ROI and NPV one time for other projects, but in the agile projects, it's not the one-time calculation. They become ongoing decision tools. In practice, we don't try to lock the business case upfront because scope is evolving and learning is continuous. So what we do instead, we start with directional estimates. Early ROI and NPV are rough, good enough to justify starting, not to guarantee the outcome. Then we move to incremental value tracking. After each sprint or release, we ask, what value did we actually deliver? Whether that's revenue impact, user adoption, or efficiency gains. So after every sprint, we try to calculate it. Then we keep recalibrating the numbers as real data comes in. ROI and NPV are updated. The previously we did the rough one. Sometimes they improve, sometimes they don't, and that's exactly the point. Now come to the assumptions. Assumptions are treated as hypotheses. Instead of betting everything upfront, we validate key assumptions early through MPBs or pilot releases. Another thing is funding. Funding becomes tagged, not fixed. We don't commit the full budget on day one. We continue, pivot, or stop based on updated value and learning. So in practical, ROI and NPV evolves from static approval metrics into feedback-driven decision tools. In Agile, the question is not, was the original ROI correct? It's given what we have learned. Is this still the right investment? This is how basically we use the ROI. So it's a continuous process. After we continuously update the ROI and NPV to calculate the value of the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mushair. Thank you so much. Mariam, you want to add something to this? How do you do the initial calculation, and how do you do an iterative tracking or tracking during the process of the project?
No, thank
Is it
you.
is it a
Yeah,
similar
what
yeah?
I wanted to, yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Now I think we'll spend a few minutes on our star question, which is how are we using AI? Because I'm sure most of our audience would also be interested in knowing Is AI actually helping, enhancing, or is it uh, hindering it from our regular activities, or has it actually helped to generate better ROI in projects, especially non-IT or IT projects? So who wants to go first? This question is for all three of you.
Okay, I can go.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm just going to start with my with my closing line because a lot of us actually think that AI is replacing people, but I tell people that AI actually helps us work smarter, respond faster, deliver better in any field we find ourselves. So as the trends, as you know, PMI, PMP moved from 1 2 PM board to 3 to 4 to 5. So as time goes on, you prove upon yourself, and that's what AI is doing. It just keeps us on our feet to get either projects or get ourselves better. So back to the question, a couple of projects, a lot of things would have been done manually, but thanks to AI, like some certain processes that you would actually use, maybe Excel, struggling with it day and night. AI could handle routine processes. It could actually validate data. It would automatically flag off, depending on how you set your triggers. It can actually flag up maybe incomplete assignments before records are submitted. Now, when you're filling a form, there are forms that you make mandatory, and there's some that you allow. Those are the things that AI helps you to sort out, and you don't need to worry yourself about. Then again, in terms of better decision making as regards to data, AI has done that. It helps you analyze large data sets across projects. It helps you identify trends in projects. It even helps you measure, even with the budget, if you're doing well with the budget, if you're within the time schedule. And as much as we say that value is everything in project, the return on investment, AI also helps you, measure that and also service gaps. It helps you to predict high cost in project and detect. It can also determine or detect higher budget, or if you're going above budget. Finally, because we're short of time, the AI helps you monitor, and in every project, you have to monitor and be accountable. And for projects, we believe that monitoring starts from the beginning all through the cycle of that project. And with AI, it makes it easy. You can use dashboard. It sets the KPIs in measuring all projects. So yeah, AI is not taking away our job. It's here to improve and make our job smarter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you so much. Gustav, what is your opinion about AI, and how does it impact the ROI or NPV?
Yes, I think I'm still a witness of from the this old fashion computers, with
Mhm.
pumped cars, and I use and now I'm talking about artificial intelligence. That's great. When I have seen, because most of the time I've been in the technology side, but I have seen as many other tools that came to the scene, is that we have another tool. It's a great tool. It's a great tool that we have to use it. We are using currently for analysis, to creating dashboards, for instance, for analysis, because sometimes you have to see in the project who is doing the right thing, so what is delaying, and there are a lot of things to review. You ask this information to prepare who is, or what is the area that is probably having risk for deliver the results that they expected. That really helps, and we have using this, mainly for analysis. As Mariam said, I mean, if we are the ones who only monitor projects, we are the ones who ask how it's going and prepare reports, your job is over. I mean, this is over. AI will help to do that. Yeah, you are the only one. You know, there are a lot of jokes about the green beer saying, "Hey, how you going? How you going? How you going?" And that's just the project manager. No, that's not. You are doing things like this. Your jobs. I mean, the work. This kind of work is over. Now is the time for analysis. Is the time for predictions. Is the time for projections. Is the time for solving, to proposing alternatives for this. And that's where AI will really help us. We are doing currently, and we are doing great with this. Yeah.
Thank you, Gustav. Thank you so much. Mushair, you want to give your thoughts about this?
Yeah, in my case, AI is becoming less of separate tool and more of co-pilot in my daily work.
Mm-hmm.
If I say practically, first, what we do for productivity and efficiency, I when we draft documents, preparing reports, summarizing meetings, or even creating presentations, I use always AI to support me, and AI helps us do this faster and with better structure. Secondly, in decision support, uh, say when you need the data analysis or identify any patterns, and sometimes even highlights any risk or anomalies. So AI can help you to identify things. Thirdly, in project delivery, for example, AI helps in requirement analysis. In software project requirement analysis, we can do this by AI. We can prepare the test case, and we also use there are several tools for code assistance, Cloudy or something like that, Codex. And in even predicting delays, resource bottlenecks, we also can find out by the AI. And if you think about the other thing, we can if you think about the customer and user experience. So AI also helps in that case. Chatbots, personalization, and intelligence support system are now common ways. AI is directly adding value to end users. But one important thing I have learned, AI basically AI works best what it is combined with human context. If you give everything to AI, it may derail you to another thing. So it must be controlled. So AI can support you to refine your thinking process, to better your report and analysis. So I use this AI like this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mushair. I think this will be one of our questions for all our participants going forward in all our sessions, because AI is not something that can be ignored going forward. So we will end up using AI for our regular activities to see how we can enhance our productivity. I don't know. Or is AI using us? We don't know. Right? Is AI using us to train itself so that it can perform better? Right? So that's a question that we all need to think about. Okay. Thank you so much for a wonderful session. Thanks for presenting your thoughts on the topic, and I'm sure our audience would have learned few new things on ROI and PV. And if the audience have any other questions, maybe we can post it here. We will try and include that in our nugget document as well. So moving on to the next segment, which is the outro for our session. I'm just sharing my screen. Share screen window. Oh, yeah. Yes, just a minute, Tao. So Tao has done our outro for today, and he is going to present the outro beautifully. Very nice, Tao. I'm sharing my screen. You're able to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
please.
Thank.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me? I audible.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So, but just summarize by. So this is a wonderful panel. I mean, everybody is speaking wonderfully, and but without before we leaving, I just want to give you the case framework. What I get from this panel. First of all, the case we use acronym. We use a comprehensive business case, which is beyond the happy path, robust risk analysis, strategic pillar alignments. So PN is the as the value guardians in this case,
Mm.
and also A for the assessors of ROI with NPV. From the panel, we see the ROI is very simple, but NPV is a golden standard. Account for the money times value and discount a future cash flow. And soft S is as a soft and intangible benefits. Evaluate customer satisfaction, brand employee retention, focus on legacy and organization survival. E as eliminating cognitive biases, challenge assumptions, overcome group thinking, confirmation bias, overconfidence, sunk cost fallacies. So these are the driving strategy success through the project decision. And yeah, so thanks for joining us. And this is a very wonderful session. And this is only I got from the panel. And I know it's much more, but as all I can summarize. Thank you.
Thank you, Tao. Thank you so much for putting this together beautifully for our audience to summarize and have a key takeaway. Uh, Priscilla, you want to take the next one? The power of you.
Sure, thank you. Well, we had many quotes. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the session. And the chosen quote was: the triple constraint measures delivery. Economics measures whether delivery was worth it. Thank you, Raul from India, for sharing this thought with us. And thank you all for participating in the session. And thank you all panelists for this amazing discussion.
Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Tao. Moving on to the next element, which is the exchange effect for today. We have more than 150 members who attended this session today. We had 327 registrations and 154 plus members who joined the session today. On the next slide, we have the QR code for our next event. So I'll just hold on for a few seconds before we move further so that uh, some of you can scan this QR code and register for our upcoming event, which is happening on 15th of May, building and leading high performing virtual teams across culture. This is again going to be a very interactive session, and we have panelists coming in from Lahore, Netherlands, Malaysia, Sao Paulo, and Kenya. So this is going to be another good discussion on building and leading high performance virtual team across cultures. So it's going to be actually a cross culture presentation for our chapter events. So moving on, I think we are almost at the end of the session, and we are, as we wrap up season 7, event 4. A heartfelt thanks to all the attendees who registered for this session and attended this session. We had 50%, more than 50% attendance. So we'd like to see more members register and attend. So if you think that this session was useful and relevant to you, I would request you to share this with others. I'll go back and then share the registration link for you. And with this, right? So make it a point that you share this our session with your other friends and colleagues so that they can also attend those sessions and make the most out of it. We thank you for giving your time and attention today. We will be back again next month. Follow our social media handles for more. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to our audience. And thank you to our volunteers to making this event successful today.
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a very good evening.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.
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 Thanks, everyone. Bye.